Hello, everyone, and thanks for taking your time and participating in this week's critical conversation about guaranteed income and its potential response to homelessness. I was thinking about this after reading The Problem with Charity by Jackie Flanagan in Unit 3 and learning about the city of Dauphin, which is a picture there of a monument in the left corner that was part of an experiment with guaranteed income in the 70s. There in Manitoba. Also interesting, as I go to record today, the Swiss nation is voting on a proposal that would guarantee everyone in the nation an unconditional basic income of about $3,300 Canadian per month. However, polls suggest that it's likely to be defeated. So just interesting that I seen that on CBC News this morning. The outline, as you can see, provides for a definition, questions, introduction, relationships to homelessness, an example, a financial example, challenges, opportunities, conclusion. Afterwards, I want to ask you to revisit the initial questions I posed, as well as some references. There are a lot of varying terms related to guaranteed income, including guaranteed annual income, universal income. Most definitions suggest a minimum level of basic income on a continuing basis to every adult, with some models suggesting children also be included. Maybe they already are here in Canada, with the Canada Child Benefit rolling out in July, which is replacing the Universal Child Care Benefit and the Canadian Child Tax Benefit. Typically, it has to be adequate to meet basic material needs. There are few or no conditions of eligibility. It can be looked at as a reform of Social Security, to be in addition to or replacing existing social programs, and also has been referred to as an insurance in the Emery article I referenced, as a type of disaster insurance to protect people in a crisis from going without necessities such as food or even shelter. Okay, with just having the general definition associated with guaranteed income, I would like you to spend, maybe 3 to 5 minutes jotting down some of your thoughts about the questions on this slide and add this to your initial response to this week's conversation. Start thinking. Why should Canada not implement a guaranteed income policy for adults? What would be needed to implement a guaranteed income in Canada? How could guaranteed income respond to homelessness? And any other thoughts you might initially have. Again, without knowing any of the material I'm going to present next. Now press pause on the slide and take some time to respond to questions before moving on to the next slide. Guaranteed income is not a new concept and has a long and storied history, including Canada. There has been support of guaranteed income from both economists and welfare theorists, and from those representing right-wing, minimized government, and left-wing with expanded government roles. For those advocating right-wing policies, they look at it as money in people's pockets, reducing government spending with a small handout. Left-wing supporters are appreciative of the redistributive impact on income. We already have forms of guaranteed income, including old age security and guaranteed income supplement for seniors, and the child benefit I mentioned on slide 3 here in Canada. And as in the initial slide I spoke about, there was a study in Manitoba in the 1970s that experimented with a guaranteed income to measure impact, and that was done regarding also work responses, but it was scrapped after several years and no final report was issued, but some studies have went back to review the data. The two most notable models of distribution of a guaranteed income include the universal demogrant model and negative income tax model. The universal demogrant model provides a payment up front. It's not a tax credit at year's end. It's tax-free typically, with additional earned income taxable at a particular rate and level, available to all, hence the universal notion, and promotes an equal sharing of benefits. Whereas the negative tax model acts like a tax credit. It's based on income level a sliding scale of benefits. It's a cash benefit, typically tied to low-income families or individuals. It is a targeted benefit, again, with selective populations. As such, there may be or there is stigma attached, similar to the stigmas associated on individuals who receive social assistance payments and other program recipients. Milton Friedman in 1943, discussing the negative income tax, promoted the idea that in good times, workers would pay taxes to governments. In bad times, governments would pay taxes to the workers. The three distributive models typically associated with guaranteed income also include the minimalist libertarian model with a low benefit, universal, and unconditional. The mixed welfare model, similar to Canada's welfare programs with partial funds and conditional requirements. And the strong basic income model with a higher benefit, it's universal as well as unconditional. So how is guaranteed income associated to homelessness? I don't think it's a simple answer. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, and I think that's what we'll work through this week through our conversation. But some studies have shown that with improved basic income, there have been improvements in health, educational, and finances for those studied. Right now we know that poverty is heavily linked to homelessness, so providing a guaranteed income may support some individuals experiencing homelessness. I should note that most research suggests that the guaranteed income should be at or higher than the low-income cutoff to help address poverty. So in 2015, the low-income cutoff was $23,861 for one person, just shy of $30,000 for a two-person family, a little above $35,000 for three persons family, and $44,000 approximately for a four-person family. So those are some numbers just for reference. If I haven't lost you yet in this presentation, then I hope an example of negative income tax and universal demogrant will be useful. It came from the Government of Canada 1994 paper titled Improving Social Security in Canada. So negative income tax that offers a theoretical guarantee of $15,000 with any earned income taxed at a rate of 27%. If a family earned $5,000, then their total benefit paid out is $13,650, plus their $5,000 earned for a total of $18,650 in disposable income. So the $5,000 is used to calculate the reduction at 27%, or a reduction of $1,350 in the guaranteed benefit, leaving the family with $5,000 plus the $13,650. If a family earns over $55,000, so that's that break-even point, they would not receive any guaranteed income, the income level at which the benefit disappears. So with negative income tax, there are some receiving full benefits, some with partial benefits, and some with no benefits. With the universal demogrant, say there was a guarantee of $20,000 and a flat tax rate of 50% for earned income. If a family earns $30,000, they are taxed $15,000, right? That 50%. So they receive the $20,000 plus the $15,000 after tax income to bring their disposable income to $35,000. All adult citizens would receive the guaranteed income. Similar to presenting the opening question, why should Canada not implement a guaranteed income for adults? I wanted to post the challenges of guaranteed income before opportunities to challenge us to move a bit away from all the positives associated with the concept. Benefits need to be set at, or actually above, the poverty threshold to help reduce or eliminate poverty. Family structure, benefits that don't take into account family structure may end up disadvantaging single-parent families. Funding, while not all models demonstrate cost savings, particularly the universal demogrant model, more funding will be needed to implement. Lower levels of public expenditure on other programs supporting homelessness may also occur. And again, there may be more costs in implementing the funding models. Federal and provincial governments would need to work together to reframe responsibilities, employment incentives, negative income tax. They must respond till high additional income level is reached or achieved. I've not specifically talked about housing or social housing in this presentation. So what happens if there is more income but no increase in affordable, adequate housing for individuals and families? And the challenge obviously is universality. Everyone gets it. Guaranteed income may provide an opportunity to reduce poverty, maybe challenges our current economic structures with adults, promotes autonomy. Again, this could be a challenge, increasing one's ability to make their own decisions. Citizenship, sharing of economic benefits of society. Gender equality is also listed. In the Manitoba research and other research, there were higher divorce rates or people leaving their partners when individuals were able to access guaranteed income. So women leaving partners who were abusive. Also, there was more value of unpaid work regarding child care, domestic care. Labor market, there are increased incentives to work depending on the benefit. Promote entrepreneurship, so people may leave jobs they're unhappy with to take on some risk. Secondary earners reducing their hours, flexibility with employment, and there's also a link to a more just labor market with options and choices for employees. The environment's also listed to ease pressure on economic growth, also ease pressure on some of our resource-dependent economies with an ecological sustainability focus. And again, as mentioned in the earlier slides, healthcare reductions, so savings in healthcare. To conclude, guaranteed income is a complex concept. There I go, using the word complex. I didn't use multifaceted here, but that could also be fitting. Guaranteed income may provide more benefits to more people than our current existing social support systems. It's a potential mechanism for our economic change, or it can be used as an anti-poverty objective. However, the principle of less eligibility is still widespread, so a lot of social programs, including this one, it could be the conditions and some of the things that are placed on it with maybe a negative income tax. People have to be suffering to qualify typically for a lot of our existing social support programs. Poverty is often seen primarily as inadequate income, so that's something that may need to be challenged. And what happens if income is raised through maybe a guaranteed income, but most of the systems remain the same? So that's kind of a question I didn't list at the beginning, but going through this may be very important for us to answer. Thanks again for taking the time out of your schedules to view, listen, and participate in this week's presentation. Now, if you could please answer the same questions on slide 4 and present it again on this slide. Again, just take a few minutes and use both sets of answers, if anything changed, to respond initially to the conversation. I look forward to reading the responses and learning from each of you this week, and I'll have other questions as the conversation progresses during the week. Thank you very much. Take care.